Holla at your boy. It's your boy LAK. Holla at your boy STV. Jazz America. You already know what it is. Jazz America. Fresh out the shower. You know. I can't say a lot has been going through my mind. Unless it was the creation of the art piece of the t-shirt. But certain topics have been crossing my mind as far as what I've been seeing. And I want to talk about ego and what we've been taught about ego, right? And the perception of what ego is in the simplest form, and why it's the defined way that it's presented to us that destroys the true meaning. And it gets used as a topic of why someone has to be held back or doesn't want to proceed based off of one's perception of what the purpose of the ego is. And it has been socially used and divided in demographics that it makes people not want to proceed in their actions based upon what someone else is going to say about the ego. And the definition of how the ego can make or break you in defining moments of decision making, right? So Black people as a whole, right, have been coming in America from communities that are poor and broken and everything that's been tossed in that community as far as what makes up the environment of where we come from wasn't made for us to thrive at all, or thrive to a certain threshold, and then they say, okay, you've reached this point of success. We don't need you to go any further, you know, based upon education, jobs, opportunities, the way of thinking, the social structure of how communities are designed and stuff like that. So we get taught certain things about what confidence should be, humbleness, why we shouldn't pursue certain careers because of the statistics based off of someone who came up with a graph of research based upon their perception and their analyzation of how they brought forth these stats, right? So you grow up in the hood and you automatically have this way of thinking because you grew up in the hood, right? In the hood. So you grow up in the hood to be scared of images that you've seen with people in a hood, right? But then we make the hood for us at the same time, right? So we're supposed to be scared of what of what they want us to look like on the flip end of it, right? So we grow up in certain situations where we're taught poverty and we're taught that, yo, man, you live on this side of town, you poor, bro, so the chances of you making it out ain't really that strong because here we have these guidelines and borderlines, and within these guidelines and borderlines, here's are the consequences, cause and effect, and the limitation of opportunities that's being brought forth so that you got these things to pick from. So you can't play basketball and be a rapper and sell drugs and do all of these different things, and you got to work at Burger King, and you can't, the chances of you going to college are slim. The chances of you becoming an elite doctor, lawyer, whatever, the chances are slim, right? So someone is telling us that we have a limitation based upon our environment, and then they give us books of religious beliefs and tell us that, you know, be in a likeness of God and you could do anything and enlarge your territory, seed, grow, multiply, manifest, be God-like, be as of the multipliers and the characters that we're being presented with, right? You place the imaginative Disney concept in an environment that you also put limitation, which creates confusion and brings stagnation to one's steps because of whatever systematic development was developed at that time. So, gotta be as humble as a child. Be humble in your with your gifts and your talent and your skill, because the ego can be too strong for one who doesn't have ego, or you don't want to outshine nobody, and all that shit is a lie, right? So it's a fucking lie. You gotta have confidence. And the body is made up of energy. And you are like a battery, right? And a battery is just a replica of what the human body could do. But the human body could do it at its highest form because it's the original, right? So art imitates life and inventions imitate the structure of what the body is and what the body does. So the body is full of these things that we learn about: protons, neutrons, electrons, and all these scientific concepts. And it's telling us that we got all this energy in our body. And when we get to our full potential, right, the potentness of our abilities, they say, wait. You getting too strong. You getting too skillful. You got too much talent. So let me humble you. Let me dim your light. You shining too bright in the room. You shining more than me. Let me humble you. Let me... Wait. I don't want you to show off the skills you work so hard for. Don't show them off, because you're going to make someone else feel sad. The dumbest shit ever, right? We're living in the age where, and it's mainly in the black community, right? Or just the minority community and shit like that, because here we are as black people, right? And we're living in a space where technology is dominating our world in the modern age, right? And technology is dominating based upon the simplification of how things are being created and the process of which things get done, right? And the access to that information is out there, but it's not openly advertised in the communities where minorities live at, right? Which they say we the minority or whatever, based off the geographic structure of how this country is made up, right? Or how the world depicts us as a group. So we have all this technology and all of these different processes that are out there that teaches us how to put ourselves in certain situations. And we've been taught to dim each other's light based off the potential of energy that one brings forth, because one might feel like they don't have that energy, or people don't want to accept it, or they might feel some type of way if you become an optimized version of who they once knew, or they're witnessing the growth of something that they haven't tapped into yet, right? So you're looking at each other and we're critiquing each other and saying like, yo, I'm doing this and I see you doing this and I'm doing this and you doing this. And then we create comparisons. And we think that those things have to be monitored and controlled by each other without proper balance of teaching, because these concepts aren't taught in the communities that we come from. So if we don't know how to channel, engage these energy levels, right? It gets looked at in a certain way. And it also can be used in the wrong way, right? Also, it destroys the perception and relationships, because it becomes a battle of competition in a race of power. So we walk in rooms, right? With a certain trajectory of how things may go because of who's going to be in the room and why they're going to be in the room, and based upon the knowledge of certain professions and certain statuses and levels of understanding. So you often walk in a room, you see someone in a suit, you come in as you are, and the person in the suit walks up to you and they start talking to you, and automatically in your mind you created this perception, or you know this person is in a certain position, so you'll talk and act a certain way, not knowing that you may be in more power than this person, right? So you being in more power than this person, you're blinded to that fact because of what the world has painted to you as the knowing of power, energy, potential, and what it looks like to be in a position of success, which is false if you don't know yourself. And a part of knowing yourself is feeling yourself. And when you feel yourself, the ego starts to take over. And the ego lets you know that you are doing the right thing. If you're taught the knowledge of self if you're getting tuned with yourself and your energy. It's like a compass. And if put in certain environments, right, it can cause many different outcomes. And it's only because of the environment that we're placed in, right? So me saying that, environments have to be changed in order for change to be effective, because people have many skills and powers, but if not put in the right environment, those powers and skills and purposes and stuff like that don't get put to use or are overlooked in certain ways. And when people recognize it who are in certain positions, they want to alter or dim the light or create a power struggle, right? Because energy flows, and it flows in certain directions. And if not taught how to channel that energy and how to put forth energy into what direction it allows you to grow in, and to recognize that, you'll create limited barriers of energy and pathways to flow in based upon the environmental structure of what you've learned and experiences that you've been through. So in a business aspect, or negotiating a concept or working your way in a deal, one must have enough confidence and ego so that it is persuasive to close a deal. It's persuasive, or it's persuasive to convince your team, as you being a team leader, that, okay, I got to make this decision. I got to go like this. I got to make things like this. I got to make things happen like this. I got to make things happen like this. Right? Or I need you to make this clutch decision, or hit this shot, or I need you to engage in this topic or engage in this curriculum that create some type of chain reaction of change or progressive movement in what direction you try to move in. It takes ego to perform on stage. It takes ego to perform in a bedroom. It takes ego to perform in conversing with certain people about certain topics. It takes confidence as well And ego can also create confidence. Lack of ego and having confidence can create confusion, right? And you got to go through the motions of these things. And the process of what people believe is the process of it is not necessarily true on every scale and platform of life, because it doesn't really apply to everyone, right? It doesn't apply to everyone. So people believe that if you're humble in a sense, or you're humbled, that it'll make you think or project yourself in a certain way. And people define humbleness as looking like quiet, being looking bummy or whatever that is, or the definition of what that is has like it's changed. It's changed because you're going around certain people and they'll carry themselves in a certain way, like, yo, bro, like, you look like money, but you don't got no confidence. Or you don't got enough ego. Or when you have too much ego, I'm gonna need you to tone that down and be humbled. And it confuses the society and it confuses the audience, because people are trying to paint a perception of who you are, and it's just not who you are. The balance of knowing when to engage in the humbleness and the ego is the power of the potential being used in the decision making that one needs to make a decision. Because it comes down to awareness of environment, of when to apply certain aspects, and to believe that those aspects exist, so that when placed in certain environments, instinctively, it doesn't confuse you to where neither is being applied, and it puts you in a position of stagnation or making a decision that goes against what the ego or the humbleness was telling you. So you have to have ego in the sense of using your skills in a multiplied way, so that you can evolve an industry or a society, because the old ways of doing things hasn't been proven to work, and you don't want to relive the same results over and over again. So I would listen to things people told me and like, yo, you got braids, you a statistic. Yo, you look like this, so you can't be a part of this system because you like this, or yo, you a pretty boy, man, you too pretty for this, or yo, your hair look crazy, so you must be crazy, or you must be going through it, or you must be stressed out, or you must be down, you not like yourself, and stuff like that. I'm listening to people, right? I'm psyching myself out at the same time, because while I'm looking like this, in my head I'm going, yo, you beautiful. You the strongest. You a GOAT. Like, and it's not bragging on myself. I'm going based upon the novels and belief systems that have been placed in my environment, and I did my due diligence of reading and studying these things, and I'm learning, okay, like, dang, like, these are the guidelines for the most part, right? For the most part, I'm like, yo, I'm studying these things because you learning, and then you taking a step, then you learning, then you taking a step, you learning, then you taking a step, and not, the mistakes aren't really mistakes, they just mistakes, but you learning. And there's so many different philosophies that you're going to be placed in a situation where critique comes, because there's so many different critiques of what a word means based off of definition, origin, etymology, definition, the breakdown, how it's used in a community, how it's used in tone, dialect, all these different things of what the vocabulary and what words mean as far as how it's being used in context, and what the conceptual meaning of what this was supposed to mean, and all these different philosophies that you want to be right in your situation all the time, but you're not necessarily right? So it's not, you're not necessarily right in all of these different things, right? So you're going to have to learn that there is a balance. There is a perspective that one must live throughout, whether he feel right or wrong, and also have the knowingness of, okay, you live in a certain environment that has these rules. Live by those rules based upon the liberty of your environment, and put yourself in a position where those things can be evolved by law and all of those different things, and the policies that are placed forth, because people get into certain positions and they say, okay, your ego is getting in the way of your success based upon their trajectory and path of how they got to their success. They had to maneuver based off of their uniquely designed path and decision-making skills based upon how they were raised, they grew up, what they learned, And if you go back to the origin of how they got there, the origins of the story, which is the common denominator of most people that come from these minority areas, is, I was poor, I had no choice, I had to figure out a way, I had to make a way, I was living like this, I come from a broken home, I come from poverty, parents was on drugs, didn't have both parents in the house, grew up like this. The statistics shown that we wasn't supposed to make it. We was never supposed to be here. Da 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 da. And it's been years that we've been learning this same concept based upon the 100 years prior, which wasn't so long ago, that a system was taught to make us live redundantly in the same cycle that tells us, yo, you gotta be humble. You can't have too much ego. Yo, man, you only could go here, 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 and here. There's limitations there, there's limitations there, limitations there. Boom. We understand the society structure and the validity of what the policies are to keep us civilized society. But if we're living in a civilized society that looks a certain way and it has a genetic makeup of rules and regulations, but then we go on YouTube and go look at Dubai or look at certain places and come back to see the comparisons, right? And we live in the land of the free. But we can't think freely because of the unfreeness of limitations that linger in the society and the overconsumption of fear that floats in the air. And sits on the corners and avenues of everywhere because of what is being projected to the society and the people. So we don't want to pursue our dreams and aspirations because we're told that only a certain amount of people is going to get there, and you may want to choose Burger King, or you may want to not that anything's wrong with these opportunities and entities and jobs and stuff like that, but here's what we're going to provide for you. So I don't want you to reach your full potential and enrich our society. I want you to keep it at a level where you feel threatened by my success because of the hard work that I put in and the things that I earned. You should feel some type of way about it because you ain't put in the work like me. Or I should feel some type of way about you because you put in the work of where you wanted to be at, right? So I should automatically feel some type of way and create some type of conflict so that I could get to my destination faster than you, or you could get to your destination faster than me. So what, right? What needs to be put in place, right, as far as the society to change the outcome of circumstances? The curriculum. It needs a makeover, right? The curriculum needs a makeover. right? The curriculum needs to be like, yo, you're not a slave. You're beautiful. You came here with certain gifts and talents. Here's how you apply it. Before I overconsume you with fear, let me teach you how to clear your mind, right? Before you look at me up and down on what I got on, right? Let me converse with you to see what type of time you want as far as innovation, and your input of where you see the world, right? What do you want to be when you grow up? What I want to be when I grow up, from a 1-year-old to a 12-year-old, changes so crazy because circumstances, education, and teachings that differ from household to household, from school to school, from friend to friend, from environment to environment, that one goes on his own path by choice, if wise enough to figure that out, to go learn, right? Be put in certain situations and circumstances only because survival and systematic things that haven't been implemented in a society that doesn't create that change, or doesn't create that even flow of opportunity and choices. So one has to learn concepts from different philosophical leaders and teachings to create his own uniqueness of living based off of the path that and experiences we've encountered or we create. And you're dealing with choices of entities and opportunities and corporations that may go against your choice of philosophical beliefs in the whole path and full circle of you becoming who you want to be and becoming a prominent piece in the world or the universe or society or wherever you belong, right? So you're dealing with ego, and confidence and humbleness and you being afraid to make certain decisions or say certain things because of the limitation of what society has presented us with, and the rules and the regulations and the confusion of freedom of speech, but you can't say what you want. The social media area, which is beautiful, but it's also has changed the way we communicate, because you can't be as openly expressive because people have lost the way to communicate. The memory span is not there. So people paying attention to what you got to say is not really there like they used to be. People get offended because we don't know how to receive the context of how things are being delivered. You can't openly joke with people anymore because they might take it in a way because of what's going on in the society or what they've seen. So if you say certain things, they get offended. People don't compliment each other like how they used to compliment each other. You tell someone, yo, you go, like, a girl, you gorgeous, yo, you beautiful. They don't believe it. They get defensive. You present an opportunity to someone, right? And you be straightforward to them. They're like, yo, it's a scam. When we create something that's innovative and that's art, it's like, yo, you think you better, or you think you this, that, and the third. When you got Billy Bob Joe that just created an NFT for $100 million, their community jump on it. Our community be like, wait. What's going on here? It's not black enough. It's not hood enough. Can't rock that in the hood. Ain't nobody gonna buy that. That shouldn't even be a concept. It should be like, yo, where your art at? Where's your art? Where's your art? I want to invest in your art. I want to invest in your art. Yo, my art is on your wall. Yo, put my joint on your... Yo, your art piece go with my joint. Yo, why are we not in these conversations? Why are we like the minority in every single conversation when we not really the minority in the creation of the sauce, the swag, the jazz, the movement, the rhythm, the vibe? We are the creators, right? We're the creators of these things. But we don't want the acknowledgement, and we don't want to present ourselves in that manner. And when we do present ourselves in that manner, they're like, yo, he's uppity, or he's trying to be white, or he's trying to be all these different things that entail intelligence, taste, and the wanting to learn about these concepts, because it's not presented where we come from. And the same record that's being played over and over again, it's getting boring. And how you know it's getting boring is when you start to see the riot and the rebelliousness of a new generation that don't want to go to school, don't want to listen, don't want to hear that bullshit. You feel me? They don't want to hear that bullshit about the redundancy of why they can't make their dreams come true, and why there's you can't rap and play basketball. You can't be an artist and do this. You know what I'm saying? You can't do these two things that like that. It's played out, and it's played out because one, the internet is already out, right? The information is already out there that we're limitless, right? And if you want this thriving society and a representation of what a country should be, why aren't innovative things happening abundantly? And why are we not progressing into the future of futuristic technology at the same speed and rate as other countries? And why is it a threat to learn a culture that was built off of the origin of another culture. So that would make sense. Like if you stole someone's idea, why didn't I just pay homage? Pay homage. You know the concept. You don't reinvent the wheel. You just put some rims on that bitch, right? So when I shoot my jump shot, I say, Kobe, Jordan. You feel me? I cuff the rock. I'll be like, yo, Marbury or crossover AI. You feel me? Now I'm playing, dribbling a certain way. Players are younger than me. Kyrie, I feel like I'm channeling this energy. You can't be a part of an industry, right? And just have complete hate for the individuals that develop and enhance and involve the industry. And it's okay to be competitive, right? And have a competitive nature to the point where steel sharpens steels and iron sharpens iron, and you're trading and bartering skills and information from each other without the concept of not knowing someone and just completely hating them. Like, yeah, I never met you before, but you hate me. You feel me? Or putting someone in a position to where, okay, yo, I never met you. You hate me, so you force my hand to be the best at what I'm doing so that I'll give you a reason to feel that way about me. And that's why the ego is important, because one needs that energy and ego to channel that competitiveness and the competitiveness and that will to win, so that someone knows what it looks like to be a winner in different arenas of life. You have to have that. And you also have to have the awareness of the humbleness and not be overly humble to where you get outshined by someone who you think is in a higher position and status than you. And also be aware to know that there are moments where you let people feel like they are more than or better than, so that they can fulfill and boost their ego, so that they can feel the feeling that you're feeling when you're at a point of success, or that dopamine is flowing because you just made a critical decision in a arena or stadium or an environment that puts you in a position of success, or transitioned you to a position of feeling powerful without someone saying or feeling that your power is a threat to their situation, right? And the power is within knowing the perspective and the awareness of all those different scenarios. You gotta be humble. Boom, that's cool. I know when to be humble. I know when to dominate. And I know when to let others dominate. I know when to like, yo, here go, I'm going to pass the ball. I'm going to chase the bag. I'm going to let the bag chase me. I'm going to hit the shot. I'm going to go get that rebound. I'm going to coach, right? I'm going to work hard. I'm going to hit the gym. You feel me? Okay, I'm going to diet. I ate too much. Yo, I'm going to make mad music. Okay, this time I'm going to take a break from music. Yo, I'm going to work on my communication skills. Yo, I'm not going to say nothing at this moment, but still I could communicate with you because I've learned how to communicate without saying anything. Then I learned how to communicate more because now I can overload the communication so that I put myself in position to compound myself and my worth based upon the different categories of skills that I've acquired over the years to put myself in the position that I've seen myself over the years, not based upon what anyone else was thinking, but based upon my circumstances and the change that I wanted to set forth and to be a blueprint for the ones that didn't have the perspective or don't have the teachings and the inner workings and how to channel those inner workings to manifest themselves in a light that they love. Without or with the critique of others, without feeling less than of or less ego driven because of what someone else thinks of them. Right? How to not let depression.
It's 4 o'clock.
Control a recession, and how to let the recession, right, increase your progression based upon the lack of what the environment is feeding you, right? So while you're in a position of fear, doubt, and guilt and all of these things, there comes motivation, ideas, success, the will to win, the opportunity of change in the status quo, a problem that needs to be solved so the creator and the creative juices start flowing, right? The goals that you present yourself with. And these are all the things that make you feel good, that builds the ego, that makes you feel like, yo, I'm the one. You feel me? Like, I gotta tell you, girl, you beautiful, baby. I gotta talk to you and be like, yo, you, like, I gotta talk to you like that. I have to talk to you like that. Why wouldn't I talk to you like that? Why wouldn't I talk to you like, yo, damn, like, I want you to, like, when I'm talking to you, yeah, I want you to feel good about yourself, because that's how I feel about myself. When I'm in the gym, and I don't mean to, and it's not for everyone, you know what I'm saying? It's not for everyone, but I'm going to the gym because I get an adrenaline rush off of overcoming that thought in my mind that's like, yo, bro, you can't do this, like, or you can't look like that, but you gotta look like that because I want you to look like that. And That's for myself. So when I'm projecting myself, right, in a way of my reflection, because if I see beauty in me and I see amazingness in me, I can only see that in someone, even though I'm aware that that person haven't seen it yet. So when I see that in someone, I'm already saying like, yo, you look good as fuck, or I see and I like the way that you look already, the curves and stuff like that, the natural gifts and talent that you have. But while I'm molding, right? While I'm molding into me, I see you molding into this. And that is an expression of the ego transmuting into one's, from myself to you, right? And that is when the ego and the awareness of what the ego is has to be taught, because I could overly introduce you to this energy that makes you want to possess it because it feels good, and it can be in the sense of a drunken state. That's why we drink and we overconsume ourselves with these spirits and like that feeling, because it's what it makes us feel, but we can't be overly addicted to the possession. Sometimes we have to get addicted to the not being attached so much, but still be fulfilled, right? Still be fulfilled in the balance of the person not being on that level yet. Not wanting to be there yet or at all. Allowing the person to feel like that. Right? And also knowing to detach from that energy to recharge, so that you don't empty yourself to where you're drained in a state of depression. And now you have to get your energy back and recharge and charge up. So each person have to be fulfilled in knowing how to channel their energy, if there is willingness to learn how to do so, and also the willingness to let people learn how to do so on their own, and also know that everyone is learning these concepts on their own frequencies in their own time. And the only thing about that can be leveled and can be it can be, what's the word for that? It can be controlled, right? Because we want to learn to not control in the sense of the dictation of how things are supposed to be, but control in the teachings, so that one knows to be aware of these learnings so that we understand each other processes. Because if I have 10 different kids, they're not all gonna learn the same way. If I got 10 different friends, they don't express themselves the same way. But when I'm aware of how each friend is, I know how to engage with them in different ways and how to be present around them and when not to be present around them, because they have their own uniqueness of individuality that has to be expressed and that needs time, space, and allowance of energy that can be presented so that they can be themselves. And a lot of times we think that people know what we know, or vice versa. And we say, okay, well, you didn't know that? Damn, you stupid. Or why you ain't know that? Or you dumb. Or damn, you ain't never did that before. Or you know, like, so many different experiences and so many different philosophies and so many different tricks to the trade that you think you're gonna be like, okay, if I read this book or these books, that I'm gonna acquire how he thinks. Or if I work like how this person work, I'm gonna acquire their skills. Or if she does it how she does it, I'm gonna live like her and stuff like that. But there's a space of individuality, even though there's a process that's proven to work, right? Because that's another thing. There is a process. That is the control. The control is the process. The control is the process. If the processes were fulfilled from A to Z and it was taught in the curriculum of what a process should be, for the most part, with the tweaks of having different individuals teach this process based off of the wholeness of that process, because there's going to be different individuals that learn at different rates and stuff like that. If we capture that early, in the early essence of teaching our kids, because look at places where like China, where like, or Japan or somewhere where they teach in uniform unison, and they move like in unison to where it's like a band. When a band is performing and you can see them create these images in unison. If people were moving in unison and a togetherness of processes that is learned as a curriculum, then as a whole, you could shift the culture in a certain direction, and we could learn the concept of what an ego is, or what humbleness is, or what confidence is, or what energy is, or how to channel your energy, or how to speak telepathically to each other, how to create all different types of innovation, how to channel your creativity, right? How to speak abundantly, how to manifest, right? How to get rid of waste, how to heal your body, how to heal your mind. You feel me? How to talk to yourself without feeling crazy about talking to yourself. How to flow. How to rhyme. How to learn the tones of your vibration. how to make each other feel good about ourselves. You feel me? How to learn the fierceness, to channel anger into motivation, and to channel anger into art. Not just music, multimedia, culinary, graphic design, interior design, sculpture, architecture, the art of fighting. Like, where in these environments do you fit in, and do you accept fitting in these environments without feeling like, yo, I don't want to jump off a bridge because things didn't necessarily go my way. You feel me? Things didn't go my way, so I'm gonna just chuck myself off and be like, yo, I don't want to do this no more, this thing called life, da 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 da. You feel me? You might as well go through the process in becoming, because you're already in it. You becoming already. You at the position that you at right now, you becoming, right? Go through the process of fulfilling you, whatever you define that as, and whatever process you choose to be a part of, and let that be known that this is the process that I want to take, so that you don't confuse anyone else in what processes you desire to acquire or do you desire to be a part of. That's where the confusion and the battle and the stuff becomes in, because I'm openly like, okay, look, yo, man, listen to music, all about the wealth, born wealthy, late bloomers, right? The Jazz Effect, Cowboy Over Hill, you listen to the topics, Bust a Move, Dominate, Achieve, Handle. These all derive from my life. Basketball, the arts. I'm an artist. I draw, I paint. I can draw, I can paint. I could paint verbally. The world is my canvas. I was introduced to Bob Ross. Niggas ain't have, excuse my language, we didn't have TV. You feel me? We ain't had no TV. No, I'm lying. We had TV. Some days we didn't have cable, and the channels were limited. And the only thing you could watch all day was Bob Ross. Only thing he was watching all day was 227, Sanford and Son, The Cosbys, Family Matters, Step by Step, Parenthood, Full House, Saved by the Bell. We were raised off of the multimedia that was given to us, and we took these concepts and we learned so many different philosophies that are not there anymore, because the reality of what reality is, and people think that reality is just this fear factor of like destruction, and that's not reality. Reality is beautiful. Reality is looking outside and waking up every day and saying like, yo, I could do this, I could do that, I can create this, I could change my circumstances, I could make a painting or a digital artwork for $30 million and someone buys it, and they buy multiples of it because it's art and it's real. And then 10 years from that, that $30 million painting is now worth $30 billion. And I just enriched myself, and I just enriched someone else's family, and I just enriched a generation based off of my perception. And I only could do this because of my ego. Because I was on E, but I was on go. You feel me? The tank was on E, but I was pushing it to the limit on go. And some days I had to figure out, okay, boom. Here's the different mechanics of the car. Here's what I could do to alter and fix the car. And when the car wasn't working how it's supposed to work, I knew how to bring the car back to life. And I didn't lose hope on the path of the journey because I wasn't speeding to the destination. I was going at a certain speed limit that allowed me to get to my destination in a way that no one thought I could get to my destination. Or I got to my destination in a timely fashion, in a jazzly fashion, you feel, in a fancy fashion, in a royal fashion, because my ego wouldn't allow me to be less than of a king or a god. And still, I was able to be aware that I could be humbled and be humble in certain situations. And I didn't let the humbleness stop me from being aware of my ego that channeled my will to put me in a perspective or a situation that can change the outcome ultimately, not for myself and for my offsprings and for the people around me and for the people that's coming behind me. Right? Put myself in an industry to bring forth an art piece and art pieces, or a platform that puts myself in a position to evolve the table and not just come to the table, but be at the table with the evolutionary innovation of how the table is assembled. So that old table gets replaced with a table that turns into a house, a castle, or it's portable, or something of some sort like that, right? Without making people, or not even caring if people feel any way about it, because it's not about how they feel about it. It's what's factual about it. And what's factual about it is I can make you a witness of the evolution of my skill set, right? And still be at peace in knowing that I want peace of mind and not overly expose myself, but still be abundant with my exposure in the way that I want to project it to my audience, right? In the reality form of what my perception is, based off of my choice of philosophical learnings and teachings that can be accepted or not accepted, right? Right? But it's needed by a certain audience because the tribe that I chose to be a part of and the tribe that I am naturally a part of. So I have to become that person, because if I don't become that person, the person who is to become the better version of that person won't even make the attempt to do it because I didn't do it. And still not on in the breakdown of someone else's image, right? But in the defense of my image, right? And still being able to defend my truth and vice versa. If you want to belong or not belong in that conversation. Because in the conversation of the ego and the humbleness, there's a dialogue that takes place, because the dialogue is this: well, you think like this and I think like this, so the way I think it goes above or goes below or puts me in this light and puts you in that light. right? And one has to be accepting of the current dialogue, so that even though it puts you or me in a certain light, one has the choice to reflect or neglect those perspectives, because one may not fit that light based upon how I see myself. So it's your choice to feel the way you want to feel, or feel not the way that you don't want to feel, based upon your perception and how you see things and how you feel you fit in a light. So the ego is needed and needs to be taught in a community in a sense of balance, and not in a sense where I have to completely destroy your artwork, destroy your image, or destroy your perspective, or destroy your teachings, or destroy your way of thinking, and to break you down because I feel like the path that I took was more righteous than the path that you're taking at this currently moment. And if you don't take my path and the way that I took things, then you ain't gonna get to where. No, don't work like that. If it worked like that, there would be one book, there will be one teacher, there will be one philosophy, there'll be one room, one big ass stadium, or it'll just be one thing, right? But it wasn't designed that way, right? The only oneness about it is, from all of those concepts, there is a pinnacle, or there is a pinnacle, or a pyramid. There's a height that one desires to get to based off expectations, because we all have the same teachings presented, but one takes each teaching presented and use it in the way that they see themselves thriving off of it. And one's gonna define each other's path in a different light, in a different perspective, because they're gonna say, yo, I came here in a Rolls Royce, I came here in a jet, I came here in a helicopter, I came here on a China bus, my nigga, I came here on a scooter, nigga, I walked here, I got here, I swam here. People swam to this country, yo. People flew to this country. People walked to this country, right? There was a certain ego. There was a certain humbleness. There was a certain willpower. There was a certain motivation. There was a certain determination. If someone wants to go to the gym and lift a gazillion weights, you let them go lift them weights. And let them be all that they can be. You feel me? If those people want to do whatever they want to do with themselves, let them do what they want to do with themselves. The only thing is, present your way of being transparent of how you want to do things and how you see yourself, and be accepting of that's how you want to do things, and be accepting of the people who are like-minded as you, and also be accepting of people who don't want to do things that way, and be like, okay, fine. It's cool with me. Because either way, I already mapped out my success in my mind, right? And I'm still humble enough to know that there is a path of the unknown that opens up another dimension, which takes ego of drive and willpower and relentlessness to get through those barriers and those doors of success and to move in that alignment of what my DNA is speaking to me in the downloads and the uploads that I get without reading a book, without speaking to anybody. The dreams, I'm pretty sure you saw me in your dreams. I'm pretty sure I saw you in my dreams sometimes. So I'm pretty sure like all of these things are happening, right? And it's pointing us in a direction of success and abundance, and me expressing myself and saying like, yo, I am royal, without you getting offended, because I found my bloodline of frequency that presents me to speak and deliver myself in a certain way and to defeat the thoughts and the critique of the outside, and to defeat the thoughts that come on the inside that tells me that I can't be, or I'm not strong enough, or stuff like that. And then I say, I am strong. I am powerful. I completed my workout. I completed the song. I completed this video. I'm about to go clean up. You feel me? I just made a project. I just did a live project on YouTube, straight off of Instagram, freestyle. I just made the artwork. I just made the list. I just found some companies that I want to own. I just wrote the list down, right? I just did the workout. I just reached out to this person. I just communicated something that I didn't know, or I was afraid to, or I just learned a new language, or I just learned a new concept. I'm doing it, right? I'm doing it, and I'm doing it, and it's making me evolve. You feel me? And I'm building my body up, right? And I'm losing the weight, and I'm gaining the weight, and I'm repairing myself. You feel me? And I'm rehabbing my mind. You feel me? And I'm learning concepts. And I'm not just watching the videos and reading the books, but I'm applying the concepts so that I can tap into a realm of the unknowingness, so that the unknowingness becomes the known. And now you think that I'm an alien because I put myself in realms that people are afraid to go in. Because I'm a alien. No. And no, I just like to learn about where I'm at and why I'm here, and meet different energies and converse with like-minded individuals and empower my surroundings, especially beautiful women. I love beautiful women, and I feed off of the creative juices that are sent my way, and I return them. And I know they feel them because they see the results. They see the results. And you seeing the results, you're able to channel me. And you able to feel that feeling that you're feeling right now. Yeah, it's real. It's very real. Very real. So those concepts are important to learn because it's real. And it's not also about just the realness of it. It's the imaginative knowing that to get in that realm of thinking, you have to have these concepts and abilities so that you know how to balance you out and learn how to take in and filter and purify and have clear speech and express those concepts. You feel me? That takes away from confusion. It takes away from jealousy. It takes away from ignorance. It takes away from awkward moments. It takes away from that eerie silence when you don't know someone and you're like, yo, is that person weird or mean or some shit like that, or da 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 da, and you start talking to them, and then you're able to act accordingly to your environment because you can be who you want to be, because it's another extension or characteristic of you that is a part of you, but it makes up the whole you. So you can be you and you can be whoever you want to be because you know how to be yourself. So that's why these concepts are important. But it has to be taught in a controlled environment, not in the sense of power, but controlled in the sense of order, so that we can move in unison and illuminate our environment and society, so we could live like the Jetsons that we've been seeing since we was kids, but we not even the Jeffersons yet. So until then, L.A.K is creating art, being all he can be, and living in jazz America, and you know, just giving you the vibes based off of the topics that I see and I feel like I need to speak on, and introducing different concepts and creating balance and eliminating the awkwardness of conversation and certain topics that one doesn't want to touch upon or doesn't know how to express or can look at from a different perspective without feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Or we can create a buildup of exchange so that one can keep growing, and we don't have to have that state of confusion of how one needs to communicate, because we learn in each other. You feel me? And once we learn each other, we know where we fit in and where we belong and where we don't belong. And if we don't want to fit in or just be different, you feel me? We be different together. You feel me? So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So, you know, there's a balance of it, and it's all needed, but it's all needed for certain circumstances and certain situations. And you just got to know when to gauge them and when not to gauge them, and when to be as of those characteristics while becoming and still learning and developing constantly, to where you're not always in a state of defeat. You just in a state of like win, 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 because you constantly learning, And then you have your moments of not thinking about nothing, just clear. And you're learning to live with circumstances, overcome them, and know that you are defeating, right? You're defeating every barrier that's being presented to you in society and within yourself, because your body and your mind is the temple in the kingdom, and it's your kingdom and your queendom, right? And once you become the conqueror of in here and in here, then you will allow yourself to become and still learn to clear out the mind, so that you can know when to channel these characteristics and beliefs and these concepts while you're here and dominate them. And the choice of words that eliminate the haters in your mind, the subconscious, and learn to make the subconscious work for you and appear in a state of manifestation of magic and beauty. You can see me evolving right in front of your face. And then, boom, right there. LAK, music online, book out now, become before becoming. Products out now, t-shirts, everyday necessities, household, luxury. New t-shirt coming soon, new hats coming soon, new music, live on stage. Yeah, let's make this official, man. Let's make this official. It's already official. It's already happening right now. I'm already on the stage. I'm already in the room. I'm already around the people that I'm supposed to be around. And I'm already in that space. Yeah, I'm already glowing up. The bank account is full. The emotional bank account is full. The spiritual bank account is full. And it's growing. Everything is constantly growing. So, holla at your boy, Jazz America. LAK, late bloomers. You already know what it is. Jazz, what's up?